Welcome back to the Gone for 10 show. It's Friday night football. You have that team on the screen, the Cronulla Sharks. They're playing host to the Sydney Roosters. It is at PointsBet Stadium. It is a 6 p.m. kickoff on Friday night. Now, the rub of the green in the last few years have definitely been with the Roosters. They've won 7 of the last 7 games up against Cronulla. The last time they met, it was at PointsBet Stadium. The Roosters cruised to a 20-point win, courtesy of Daniel Tupou scoring a double as he chases the all-time Roosters try-scoring record, and a dominant performance by the returning James Tedesco, who did set up 2 tries and claim one of his own. So they have had the rub of the green in recent years, but dating back to 1967, in 99 NRL matches, the Roosters have won 63 of these. The Sharks have won 34 and they've drawn 2. So it definitely has been a fixture where for years Sharks did dominate, but it looks like the tides have turned a little bit and the Roosters now have that momentum since 2017. But you do have that man on screen, Nicho Hynes, coming into this squad. He is going from level to level. They're coming off the bye. They're now a whole year under Craig Fitzgibbon. So I do expect this match to be a lot closer than what it was last time they played. But you've got William Kennedy, Sione Katoa, Jesse Ramian, CSC Fatalakai, Ronaldo Militalo, Matt Moylan, Nicho Hynes, Royce Hunt, Blake Brayley, Brendan Hanlon Ueli, Britton Nakora, Teague Wilton, and Cameron McInnes making up the 13 with Wade Graham, Jack Williams, Oregon Kafusi, and in line to make his debut, Thomas Hazelton on the bench with Braden Trindle as the 18th man. So again, it's a very strong squad. There is some ins, there is some outs. Obviously, starting with the outs, you do have Toby Rudolph with a foot injury and Dale Finucane, who is facing the suspension following the bye. However, they are welcome back with Wade Graham coming back from suspension and Oregon Kafusi returning from his concussion. So both those 2 players that are out are big losses, but they are joined by 2 big inclusions who will go on the bench. Obviously, that leaves Royce Hunt and Cameron McInnes being promoted to the starting side with Braden Trindle dropping out completely. And like I said, Thomas Hazelton in line to make his first game of the season. So massive raps to Thomas Hazelton. Hope he does a brilliant game. But let's move into my boys. It's the Sydney Roosters. You've got the welcoming back of James Tedesco, Daniel Tupou, Joseph Suaalii, Joey Manu, Jackson Paulo, Luke Keary, Sam Walker, Jared Warrior-Hargraves, Brendan Smith, Lindsay Collins, Egan and Nate Butcher in the 11 and 12 respectively, Victor Radley, Drew Hutchinson, Nafua White, Terrell May, the return of Matthew Lodge and Corey Allen in the 18th man position. So as discussed, James Tedesco does come back into this squad. He did face that 11-day protocol after getting knocked out against the Eels. So that's one massive in for the Roosters. That obviously then pushes Joey Manu back into the center position. Drew Hutchinson does go back to the bench. So a little bit of a shuffle. We might see Drew Hutchinson leave, but I think the cover probably does keep him in there. He can play multiple positions. He can play center. He can play dummy half. He can jump into the 6 and the 7 role. So a lot of people do give Hutchinson a lot of hate, but I do believe that's why he does hold his position, at least on the bench at the moment. They do have obviously some big troops returning in the next couple of weeks, with Nathan Brown set to make his club debut in the next couple of weeks. Satilli's back and playing. Angus will line up for the first time this week. You've got Billy Smith coming back from injury as well. So they do have a lot of troops to pick from, but obviously Jake Turpin is out of the 17 with Matt Lodge coming in, and Fletcher Baker was ruled out Tuesday with a concussion. So both teams have some players out. They have some big players coming in, but it is going to be a cracking game. It does kick off at 6 p.m. So if it's an early game, you're driving home from work, pop it on the radio. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. If you're at home, put your feet up, have dinner, grab a beer, and enjoy this one. But for the tips, Baxter has gone 1-12 with the Cronulla Sharks taking the win, and I'm going to back my boys, the Roosters, 1-12 in a tight contest. So let us know what you think in the comments, who you think is going to win this game, who stands up here. I think if the Roosters are to win this game, it's on the back of James Tedesco, Sam Walker, and Luke Keary, whereas the main man for the Cronulla Sharks, the man that was on screen, if they're going to win this game, it's all on Nicho Hynes' boots. So let us know in the comments, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you with the next Friday night game.